Welcome to the Golden Feather. Grab a pint, a plate, and pick your seats. Your hosts, Virtek and Shibibray, are back from their latest adventure.
Hello, everyone, and welcome back to another episode of The Golden Feather. Today is June 11th, 2021, and we are on podcast number 83, Enticing Whispers, featuring our guest, Elloa. Hello.
Hi, how are you doing?
Doing well, and how about yourself?
Yeah, I'm good. Excited for Ashes of Creation.
Oh, definitely.
Other good things.
Yeah. And of course, Virtek, my co-host.
Hello, everyone. Hope you're all having a great day. Nice to see everyone.
I agree. Also, I wanted to say hello, Reluctant Raven, and everyone. Glad to see you guys join. Sorry for the delay. We had a little bit of a hiccup with the tech. But I'll go right into the podcast edit or updates. Today is our last day streaming at our old apartment. Next week we'll be at the new house, so if it's a little echoey, we apologize. We'll try to take that out later if you hear it at all. So, hello. So
Yeah, until we get some stuff on the walls and things on the floors and all the reverberation taken care of, it might be a little bit. Hello.
But in a way, I always find it nice when you have those type of aspects in a podcast, because you can see the evolution of the person through the years, and even if it doesn't look professional and super clean and neat when you do it, afterwards it's like, hey, remember, that's what we want. And it's a nice memory.
Yeah, that's for sure.
Absolutely.
This apartment was a good memory. It was a good landing spot. Good times here. But enough about us. Let's talk about you, Elloa. I met you about 4 years ago now, in 2017. When we were both on CD and podcast. It was my first podcast.
Yes, with Angelos. And
with Angelos.
Really cool. I remember very well. This is when we met. That was at the start of the Ashes of Creation adventure, when they did the Kickstarter campaign, and I got absolutely sold by the concept. And so while the years have passed by, I have not involved myself too much into the project, because there was many years to go, and I didn't want to hype me too much in advance for a game that were not released. But now that I can test it and participate and be part of the things, I'm all back into it, of course, and it's really great. What I've seen really reinforced my hype and my interest. So
yeah, I remember we used to talk a lot about it, and if I remember correctly, you weren't really into the whole PvP aspect of things.
Oh yes, of course. I'm a very great PvPer. I have been world first, Gladiator 14, back in the days in World of Warcraft, all of that.
Nice.
Yeah.
I am horrible at PvP.
No, it's absolutely a lie. I'm super bad. I whine a lot about it. And that was the aspect of Ashes of Creation where I was convinced by the concept. I thought the concept to be brilliant, but I also know that I don't really enjoy PvP. I'm not really interested in siege battle and that kind of things, and I hate to be ganked. But the PvP aspect of Ashes of Creation, it's so much part of what it made the game interesting, was this movement of cities that are getting destroyed so other can be built, and the community as a whole, etc. For me, it was a risk to back the game and to invest myself into it, but I was so convinced by the project, and I find such a nice project for the gaming industry. I think it will do really, really good in the gaming industry, even if you don't like the game. I think it's nice that the game exists.
Bring competition forward put them on their toes so they try harder.
Yeah, exactly.
And a lot of innovation. That's what surprised me the most and excite me the most about Ashes of Creation over the time. I think besides just the concept of the game itself is to see how this team is innovative. They are moving forward. They're trying to do more and better, and they go further, and it's really exciting to see that because the genre has been a little bit stagnant for a bit. We need new blood.
Just a little.
Yeah. Reluctant Raven says, it's okay, as friendly PvPers will protect you for a small price, of course, or free for the lovely ladies. Don't tell my wife. And I know Sig is from your channel, but for those of you, oh my goodness, hello Shirkus, thank you for the raid. Hello Prepu.
Yay!
Shirkus, hello, and thank you for visiting.
Thank you so much.
Bring in all your friends.
Yes. I was actually about to shout out Elloa. Here's her links. Go check her out.
I was actually just earlier kind of lurking in your channel, Shirkus. I unfortunately do not speak Spanish, so I couldn't understand much, but I was lurking for you at least.
Yeah. Hello, Tama.
Hello, everyone.
Madari, hello. Welcome in. So, Elloa, aside from Ashes of Creation, you are a community moderator for a game. And
yes, indeed.
Which game is that?
So, that's still a mystery. And this is not something I've been talking so much about it. People know me as a streamer or as a YouTuber. Not so much people know that I've been community manager since 2016 in a gaming that is currently being developed, in the MMORPG with an old school vibe, PvE only.
Nice.
It's
no
not
salty
the same,
PvP.
No, not at all. It's not really the same audience that's being targeted from Ashes of Creation, I think. So that's why, I'm a lover of MMORPG. I'm a lover of the genre. I'm really excited about it, and I will never be the kind of person to shit on a game, or if the game does not please me or I'm bored with it or whatever, well, that's it, and I move on to something else, because every game brings something unique, something, a certain type of atmosphere, a certain type of universe, and I think that if I had all the time in the world, I would play all the MMORPG in the world because they're so cool. But it's not possible, so you have to make choice. So yeah.
Yeah, but, unfortunately, there's not enough time in the world to play them all, even if you did want to.
Yeah, exactly. I agree. There's so many even that have been so interesting, and I'm like, I don't know where to go next. There's, Blue Protocol looks interesting. I miss Final Fantasy. And then, there's other like MMORPGs where I'm like, I don't know, I've never tried that one, but that looks cool too. Or like it looks like I'm really into anime, so I'm a sucker for the anime ones.
Yeah, like Final Fantasy is certainly ideal for you on that regard.
Yeah.
Elder Scrolls Online is the game that I'm streaming mostly at the moment. It's also something very exciting in its own style. I like to play it extremely chill and relaxed. And I think it's a game that provides you a lot of satisfaction as a player while playing it very chill. And this is something that's quite uncommon, because if you're super casual and you slack and you play chill, relax, you generally don't get a lot of reward, or you don't have the feeling that you're progressing your character. And in ESO, you have so much things to collect, so many crafting recipes to get, etc., that you can really play exploring the things at your ease, gather crafting materials, finding treasures, and that's how I like to.
It's a whole lot of stuff to do. Yeah. I have hung out in your streams occasionally in the morning. It's pretty chill. I've actually found myself kind of like initially being a part of it, and then just like drifting off into work and just chilling with you in the background. It's really nice to listen to. It's very calming, very positive environment. But you are a member of the stream team for ESO, yes?
Yes, indeed.
And how did you come into doing that?
Well, when Elder Scrolls Elder Scrolls Online has been the game like Ashes of Creation is for me right now. So I was super excited about it. At the time, I was even more involved because I really had nothing better to do in my life. So I was just really focused on the news and participating. And I got into the alpha. I was with the American Guild, and thanks to them, I could get in the alpha for Elder Scrolls and for Wildstar. And so I participate at that time. And then obviously I knew well the game already and I had followed everything. So I decided I wanted to be a content creator for ESO. As soon as the NDA released, I started to make my videos and stuff like that. So
that's very difficult work.
Yes, indeed.
It can be, but rewarding. Definitely rewarding.
Agreed.
And this is something I have dropped completely to make video guides about the video games. And now I'm focusing on providing relaxing video and ASMR content. It allowed me to be more creative, to explore things, to really have fun in a creative way, because I don't have to follow a certain type of schedule and format and whatnot. And also the idea of having people falling asleep on my video is kind of cool. Some people will be offended, but I'm happy when that happens.
I was going to say, with the ASMR thing, that's a good thing. You lull somebody into a nice peaceful moment there. I
think that's the hope for it, right? And yes, I agree. Mordival. I agree. The new pack is awesome. I'm gonna be swapping it over as they chat. But for Tech, why don't you ask a few questions for me?
All right. So, let's see here. Did you have anything else that you wanted to share about what you've been doing here lately? Anything of super interest?
Yeah. If you want some video to fall asleep with the beautiful music of Ashes of Creation behind and the gorgeous landscape, check out my YouTube channel. I'm just kidding. But I'm excited.
No, not kidding. Do it.
Yeah, definitely.
I'm excited. I'm very excited to be able to do content for Ashes of Creation and to show off the beautiful aspect of the game, because that's probably not something the content creator will focus on at the release of the game. At least you probably have, the best build or the latest news or that kind of things. And I really like to show up to people that, look, you can also play a game differently. You can immerse yourself into it. You can feel it, have sensation. You can really delve into the stories. You can play a game in a different way, in addition to your regular way of pew-pewing everything. You can do both, of course.
Pew all the stuff.
Yeah, exactly. But it's sometimes nice to just wind away and take a moment to breathe. This is something that's very often suggested to people to calm down and relieve from stress. To do that in real life, you can meditate, you can do mindfulness. But when you're a gamer, you can use your video game, your favorite world, to do that.
Yes.
It can really help you out.
Yep, that's what I use my gathering tunes for, is just when I need to kind of recenter and just relax for a bit. It's like, go out and just gather stuff. Put some music on, just run around, gather, and enjoy the time.
I think gathering is so awesome for that.
Yeah.
Yeah. And you make money while you're doing it. So why not?
It's repetitive, you explore, you're doing simple activity, you can be distracted, talk with someone else.
So some of the questions that I'm sure people are wondering, have you been playing the alpha?
Yes, I did play the alpha and I had a lot of fun. I'm very surprised in a positive way by the state of the alpha. I think the game is very solid. Of course, there's plenty of improvement, and you have all the kind of bugs and performance issue that you can expect from an alpha. But the people that are not accused to alpha stage might not really see that and be able to appreciate it, but they really have already done a working game. So we can already have fun with the game as it is right now. So you put the game out, okay, it's a bit cheaty and you will probably not to pay for it, but you can have fun. And that's very, very promising, because it means that they have the foundation, they have the skeleton, and everything else will be, some extra, some bonuses, etc. I think there's only few big systems that they need to put in place, but most of it are already there and you see that it's working.
Yeah. Yes, it's a carriage pulled by does. Specifically...
It's a carriage dough.
Yeah, it's for Snow White.
Specifically, this
like
really
it, though.
interesting, like... I don't know. Not like a fiery, but like a frosty, maybe like a misty effect. Yeah. Pretty.
Yeah, some kind of like an icy gem or something.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's gonna be the armor for my tank mage. Just saying.
One of the things that surprised me also with Ashes of Creation is how much fantasy they have in everything. So it is not your classical, it's hard to say, but it's not realistic like Elder Scrolls, let's say.
Mm-hmm.
It's more fantastic, and I like the twist they give to things. The dessert they have made is really nice because it doesn't feel desertic and boring and dry, but there's some life to it, some colors, some interesting combination. Same with the wetlands. That's my favorite.
Oops. Yeah.
Yeah. The wetlands are interesting, but like you were saying with the desert, I like how there may have been a little bit less vegetation, but they started to have like the crystals growing out of everywhere.
Yeah, and the sakura tree, or the trees that look like sakura trees. It puts those bright spot of pink here and there, and then it contrasts with the teal of those toxic pool of things. Don't swim in it. I learned that the hard way. And you don't want to die in Ashes of Creation if you can avoid it, because you're losing your experience and it's sad.
Oh, yeah. I hope they kind of fix that, because, I mentioned this, I think, last week. I died multiple times to the poison bottle because it wasn't my quest, and I didn't know what it was. It was like, oh, I can interact with this. Cool. What does this do? And then I died, and I didn't realize I died to the poison. I thought I died to, like, some NPCs that were right there. And then when I came back...
Have a great night there, by the way, Mortival. Sorry to interrupt. Someone was sleeping, so I wanted to say goodbye.
Okay, bye, Mortival. But anyway, when I came back, I decided to try it again. But this time the NPCs were gone, and then I died again. And I was just like, what the heck? And I realized it was the poison, and I was just like, oh, no. Oh, no.
Yeah. It can be painful. My first day in Ashes of Creation was like that. Of course, I didn't follow the normal quest. I wanted to, explore and go my way. And that was really a mistake. So I was level 1 with one spell. I didn't know I could take other spells as I was leveling up a little bit, because it was not something I knew at that time. So I was just with my one spell, not a bit great, trying to go in a dungeon with level 3 skeleton, and I was dying. And my experience depth was growing, and I was in that first level that from 1 to 2 took me forever. And I was like, oh my god, this is the longest level in my whole life. What happened? It's only after that I understood that I did the mistake, that I made certain mistakes and such that put me in that mess. Otherwise, I was worried for the progression. I think that's a little bit hardcore, maybe a bit too much.
Yeah, when you start questioning whether it'd be easier to just make a new character, you've gotten in deep.
Oh, yeah. For me, that was the case. The first day of testing, I had put myself in such a XP debt. I think I was like 80% XP debt or something like that for the level, that I was just like, I give up on trying to get past this. I'm just going to go make a new character.
Yeah. Yeah. That's that's how I made the dwarf, and I discover that's what I want to play. Well, at least until I see the orcs. But...
You enjoyed playing the dwarf then?
Yeah, and at first I didn't want to play a dwarf because I find them a little bit too stiff, and I didn't like their face so much. But they added a new haircut, which was very cool. I say, well, I'm going to try a dwarf, and it's the way they move. And this is something that happens very often with small creatures in video games. They move faster, or you have the feeling they move faster. They jump higher, etc. And it makes it very, very pleasant to play around. And so I played tank, and I was charging on mobs. And, cool.
Good night, Prepu. Thank you for dropping by.
Bye.
Well, I think we will head into community spotlight and stuff.
Yeah. Let's do it.
All right.
Let's do it.
So heading into the community spotlight, there's a few topics that we found interesting this week, especially on the current cosmetic, the what is it called? Deeds of the Dauntless. And to kind of go into that, there was a Reddit post asking people for their thoughts on the Deeds of the Dauntless, in combination with there was our favorite Ashes of Creation comic person now made a nice little comic about picking a mount. So I'll see if I can grab that. I'm having issues with Reddit's CDN at the moment. It keeps cutting out. Let's see. What do you guys think? Looking at the cosmetics above.
Well, all the cosmetics look super cool in general, but they are also super expensive. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
I don't mind them to sell them that price, but this is not something I'm going to pay myself. It's a bit much. But otherwise, I think they are beautiful and interesting. It's not my favorite. The one I prefer is the mushroom cap people. You know, they have done a pack like that. That one is really cool. That one really, I'm like, no. The game is not released. We shall not buy anything. Wait. Let's be reasonable.
Yeah.
Yeah, see, and I was going to respond to Prepu before she disappeared to go and head to sleep, but they had asked what our favorite pack is, and for me it would either be this one or it would be the one in March of like 2019, I think it was, which was another like very tanky looking one, but it had a lion for the mount.
Oh.
And it was all very like glowing tank looking set. So it was that one, and then it was this one. These are my two favorites so far.
I think
just because it has that raw look to it, but it's also really sharp looking.
Yeah, I think my favorite has to be with Reluctant Raven, the Fox pack. A Pyre Fox mount. Oh, I'm so sad I missed that. I'm just hoping that somebody will do a different version of it in game, you know?
Yeah, this is always the thing. So with all of this cosmetic that they're selling now, before the game is released, I imagine they will continue after. And but yeah, you kind of want to be able to earn that in game too at some point. Or some of them.
And
I'm wondering if they will do that.
Yeah, they did say something like that similar would be in game, but not exactly that same look. But maybe something like that, but a different variation of it. But going into the Reddit, a lot of people are saying like, oh, it looks nice, but it would be much better. Like they would much rather have them achievable in game or something, which I get. But I feel like there's so many more cosmetics that are coming once we get in game that will be achievable in game, either through husbandry or raids, etc., things like that. I'm looking forward to seeing exactly what comes out of their creation, But I think that being said, I don't know. What do you guys think? Should they do like a poll to see what kinds of things the community seems to pull towards more in terms of packs that they liked, and maybe ask as like one of their dev discussions, like, what about our past packs have you liked the most and why? And maybe they can get more ideas from it.
It doesn't really disturb me that they are making separate packs from some that are exclusive when you purchase them. Of course, it's a little bit like frustrating if you really have a crush on one particular pack and you cannot have it because that was at certain point, and because of that reason, I will say I hope they will maybe introduce them in game or maybe reintroduce them in the shop in some way. But they have to keep the exclusivity for the buyers, so they will need to change something. But I would imagine maybe they will keep the same team and do some variant on it, maybe just change the colors and stuff like that. But yeah, as for the business model, this is always a big debate and a big question in the MMORPG community, whether should you have a cash shop, should it be earnable in game. Here, Ashes of Creation will have a subscription, so the cash shop will be limited. I don't really mind a game to have a cash shop as long as you have plenty of stuff that you can earn in game.
Oh yeah, I agree.
And I have some hope also, because even with the quality of everything that we've seen coming out in these packs, Steven has said that there will be items that look just as good. And he even says almost every time, he says, and in many cases better, that you can earn in game.
Mm-hmm.
So if there's stuff that you can earn that's going to look just as good or better. And so far, he hasn't really come across as being incorrect on some of those statements, even though that's purely opinion. Because like you were saying, should they poll the community on what they have found appealing about certain cosmetic packs, everyone's going to answer something different.
Yes.
So it is definitely relative.
Yeah.
Yeah, and
go ahead. Sorry, I'm just reading chat.
I think it's only important that you add some cosmetic to earn in game, because it's a very important aspect of the game. It's something that keep people motivated, and sometimes just a new haircut or a new costume isn't enough an argument for someone to come back to the game. And the competition is hard, and it doesn't matter how beautiful, gorgeous, and fun Ashes of Creation will be. They will still have other games that are also cool and that can capture people just because they have their best friend playing or whatever, you never know what can happen. So you need to keep yourself on your toes as developers, I think, at the moment, and do your best to provide what the community wants. And that would be stupid to have put so much effort into creating so much cosmetic item and to have a game variance of cosmetic item. I'm pretty sure that will not happen.
Yeah.
Agreed.
So here's a question for you. Have you been kind of keeping up with the Ashes testing, Elloa?
What do you mean with
the Alpha 1 testing that we have? Like weekly?
Yeah, I really enjoy that. I think that's what I wanted. I wanted to be part of this. I like to be in a game when it's being developed and when you can give your advice and your feedback will matter and will be heard, and you start to get to know the community in advance, and you have this little like pioneer feel because you were the first group, and it can create really long-lasting bonds between people just because, well, like you and me, it's just we know each other since Ashes of Creation. The game is still not out, and it feels like a super long time I'm friends with you.
Yeah.
So you see, anything can happen. So now I'm very excited to be able to put my hand in the game and try it and be part of that. It's really tease my nerd vibe or my geeky side, my gamer aspect.
Yeah. Okay, so we've been moving this week, so we kind of missed a couple of the tests. But this was posted about 12 hours ago from the Blunderguff, and he was chatting about the new development on the action side of combat. You've played a lot of MMORPGs, so I'm sure you've experienced a plethora of different types of combat systems. Were you noticing, he says the new addition is a white, red, or blue reticle, depending on you not having a target, your target being a hostile, or your target being non-hostile, respectively. So I am not very good. You can hit Z and swap between the two. I'm not very good with the swapping and everything like that. I do enjoy being able to kind of turn and hit whoever I want to hit without being like locked onto one person. Because I remember in raids I was trying to hit this specific mob this direction, and I'd accidentally lock onto this mob over here, and it would take me a second to like cycle through tabbing or trying to get like the specific mob. But how is the combat feeling for you progressively as they update stuff?
At the moment, it feels like there's still some tweak that need to be done for the combat, so it feels not entirely polished. But that's okay. I mean, it's alpha, so
right?
it's
Exactly.
Not like it's a problem.
There's time. There's time.
Yeah, exactly. But so far, it's kind of it feels nice. I'm not yet sure how I feel about the combat itself, but like I say, it's difficult to really have an opinion at this point because there was some technical issue with that caused some delay in your action and stuff like that. So sometimes the combat could feel slow or clunky because of the performance, and the tests are done for testing the performance. So that's a priority. So if the server crashed, yay, you did a good job. We find more bugs. So there's nothing to be mad about if the server are lagging. So that's the point. So there's that. So I cannot really say. Then there's also the class. You only have 3 different classes at the moment, and with the weapon, it's mostly the weapon that disturbs me at the moment, because you only have one ranged weapon, and it feels a little bit not enough. For if you want to have a game style where you're not in melee. At the moment, it feels heavily favored in melee, and if you want to fight in distance, you just have the wand, and the wand, I don't know, it's not the weapon I would prefer something a bit more slow in the way they cast things. So but obviously you don't have a bow, you don't have something, so there's weapon missing at the moment. Weirdly enough, the class I enjoyed the most was the tank. Really had a lot of fun, and then I played the tank was the action combat more than the top target. But okay. During my playtime, I always swap between both, not so much to be strategic about it, but to get used to both of them and to really see how I start to handle, how I take the things in hand. Because you cannot really make an estimation about how combat works by always being a level 4 character, and you have to take the game in hand and have some experience and play it enough to really say, okay, now I have an opinion.
Exactly, yeah.
You don't do it, you can't really talk much about it.
Yeah.
Yeah, and a lot of people jump very fast on conclusion when they have done 3 levels. You cannot really know how your class will feel like when you level 3 and you have just 2 or 3 spells. It's something you need to be cautious when you say things, and knowing that, okay, I've not seen much of it, or the game is really in early stage of development. Before to really set in stone your opinion on, this combat is not nice or whatever.
Yeah. There's still so much growth to happen after only a couple of levels.
Yeah.
But
however, it's very important to share the feedback. So if anyone is playing the alpha, have some feedback to give to the dev. It doesn't matter what the opinion of the player is. It's nice to share the feedback and that he share his feeling, his experience with the developer, so they can see if that's what they intended or not.
Yeah. Do you have a preference on the combat type like action or tab targeting preference?
Those are weird things. I really like action combat for leveling,
Okay.
and I prefer tap target for healing or dungeon or that kind of combat.
Okay.
As a healer, I prefer a tap target healing system where you deal with the interface rather than running after the guys to farm your poor little hours.
You're like, come back! I'm trying to hit you with my what? Out of range.
Stand in the green. Exactly. So, but I don't think I will. I don't know how I will play Ashes of Creation. I will have to discover because I do have two different way of enjoying game. If I'm doing PvE and I'm part of a group, then I like it more the World of Warcraft style. That's my game of reference. That's a game I prefer. I've been playing many other games. For dungeon, raids, healing, World of Warcraft is still the best. But for questing or doing, more like adventure type of combat, then action combat is much more fun because you can run around, roll dodge, etc. Oh, roll dodge. That's one thing. It's really not ready. Ashes of Creation at the moment. I cannot use it. You cannot rebind at the moment. You're binding. That will change in future, I imagine. But it is on a stupid button. I don't even remember which one because I cannot do it. I tried to press one direction and this button. I like that. It's not working. So I cannot be smart while I'm fighting. That's also one very important aspect of combat that I cannot really play around with. So I have the feeling that I'm a bit fighting like an idiot, like just eating the hits as fast as possible because of this little mechanical problem.
Yeah.
Yeah, the dodge one is a little bit tricky to do, but what was it? Dante was saying, I feel like the only healers playing in action mode rather than tab target would be the ones focusing on AoE heals, followed up by Sig saying, too hectic trying to click on someone in combat for heals.
Yeah.
And that's kind of true. I mean, when you're in an action camera / action combat mode, it's really hard to select a single individual person you're trying to heal up when you're like aiming an AoE that's in that direction.
Yeah.
In general, the action combat that have healing will have more smart heals, so you don't have to target. And that will make the difference. Instead of targeting your interface and being really focused on that, you have to be in the action and run around the butts of your friends, because generally the heals are not at super long distance, they are in shorter distance. And it gives more just feeling, you're a healer, but you're still fighting also.
Yeah.
You see, but then the tricky part comes in if you're doing action combat with even smart heals, where you have like the one super omega heal that you drop it and somebody goes from almost dead to full, right? And your job is to heal the tank. And a big old AoE comes in and smashes everybody. And you aim at the tank and somebody like gets clipped by the boss and runs between you and the tank, and the smart heal hits that person.
No.
Random DPS that stood in the bad. And the tank is left with like 12 hit points because your super mega heal hit this DPS that was standing in fire instead.
Oh my
gosh. That's a lot of the
things
that you have in Elder Scrolls Online. So you have to kind of heal. You have the AoE or the ground heal you have to direct, but a little bit. Either you drop a circle on the ground or you have a cone, etc. And then you have the smart heal. I'm not really sure how they work, but I imagine it's the lowest person always. And you cannot decide. You cannot be a tank healer in Elder Scrolls Online, or not really. Not with every heal. You can have some for the tank. And it's also one of the reasons why ESO is not my favorite game for healing. I like it for a lot of other stuff, but not that one.
Mm-hmm.
Well, it's also fun, but I prefer the other system.
Yeah, that's fair. I think each game I've played, I've kind of shifted towards a specific class based on how I just naturally felt playing it. There's some games where I'm like, I can't heal. I don't know what I'm doing. This is too complicated. Like, I think I did well with White Mage, but like Scholar, I was just like, what is this? Or what was the other one?
Astrology.
Astrologian. I was like, what?
Oh,
What? This is RNG
What even
healing.
is this?
I really liked the astrologian before they changed it, because you had this random effect with the card, and you really could, once you knew the card, you really could play around with them and give this buff to this guy and that buff to this other person, and repel your card if you didn't like what you had, and all of that was a kind of mini game. And they remove it from the class, and so the class is a stupid healer with just 2 cards that have buffs. I'm very disappointed of that.
Yeah.
That stinks when they flatten out classes like that.
Yeah.
Yeah, especially when they have something really, really unique that you have in no other game. You don't have a healer that's pulling astrological card and making you a tarot. I mean, that was so unique. It was so much flavors. It was so fancy too. Your weapon was not a book or staff or wand. No,
It was cards.
it was your super astral ball, and it's that microphone, but I didn't realize what I was hitting, so I thought it was a person. And I was like, what?
Getting violent over there. So angry, so angry.
Oh my gosh. Ooh. Well, I guess going into news, unless there was anything else community related you'd like to cover, Tech.
Not really. I think everyone's kind of focused on alpha stuff at the moment.
Yeah, I agree. Going into some news then. I really love that she does this, but Alluring always puts up once a month. Hello, Liam. Welcome from
Liam.
Thank you for the
Thank
raid.
you.
I do this. Let's see if this works. I'm gonna try to make a raid response. Oh, I messed up. Oh well, close enough. Oh, thank you, Liam. 3 months. Welcome. Awesome. It's so
Oh my goodness.
fast already.
Thank you. Much appreciated. Thanks for stopping by
Hello.
and bringing all your friends.
Yes. Hello, everybody. How's it going? It's going well. We're about to talk about the Discord spills from May by Alluring Secrets. She's been compiling this little post lately each month, and she said this month she wasn't really sure if she would be able to keep coming up with these each month. It depends on how much info dump she gets from Steven. But can I just say, I love the last one. It goes 99 reports of bugs on the wall, 91 reports of bugs, take one down, code it around, 146 bugs on the wall. What?
Yep. I like it.
It's supposed to go down, not up.
Not up.
But we want
They're
them
not
up
supposed
anyway.
to multiply.
Yeah. But I really like this one too, because somebody was asking if elves can be fat, and he's like, elves can totally be fat. Just their version of fat from a body mass index is much lesser than like other races. Like I'm imagining this like chunky dwarf, cute little fat chunky dwarf running around compared to like, I don't know, any other race. I'm just curious to see what the body scaling is going to be.
Yeah, I was wondering, but I imagine at the moment the character creation is a placeholder, right? In the alpha section.
Oh, yeah, I think so. Because I know that they
Yeah.
wanted to create like a standalone to give to people at one point. So you can prep your stuff.
Yeah, so you can get it all prepped up before launch.
Oh, yeah, like Black Desert and Final Fantasy have done.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, that's always nice.
That's going to be
Yeah.
fun. There's going to be so
Yeah.
many people streaming just character creation for like a month and a half straight.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Everyone's going to be streaming character creation.
Oh, but it's really fun and pleasant, and when you have those really in-depth character creation, you can spend 3 hours or a day on your character trying to make the correct face.
Yeah.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely.
Oh my gosh. I remember playing Sims and just spending hours on just one sim. I'm like, it has to be perfect.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, same Kosh. So
Yeah, no. If they're aiming for at least as good as BDO character creation, I can only imagine what's going to be happening with it.
Oh yeah.
I think it's great.
I'm going to be hitting the random button just to see what things it comes up with.
By the way, Steven said that the other classes are waiting for solid data from A1 before moving forward with implementation. So we should probably see a lot of the other classes getting implemented shortly after the Alpha 1 testing. And
That's everything.
yeah, and that there's some major reworks, including feedback from testing for combat, and that there's a lot of changes in the works at the moment. The revamp will hit some of these changes, but there'll more than likely be even more fundamental changes during or after the July testing, depending on the data and feedback that they get back. But what are you... Screw classes I want to learn.
Hey Raven, I'm sorry to tell you, but even by lore, Tolnar were the last thing to be discovered by all of our people. So you might be waiting a little while.
I want.
Go ahead, sorry. Free
I
frog.
want to discover the ranger and the bard. I'm very curious about those.
Yeah. Oh, I can't wait to see what bard goes and feels like as a class. But there was worry about previously we talked about Jeffrey Bard leaving. Yes. So somebody asked, does him leaving shift your timeline, or have you known for a while and readjusted accordingly? And Steven says this does not affect our internal timelines. So that's good to know. There's no major changes happening there. Yeah.
Yeah, but this is more. I imagine this is something that they know they are discussing and preparing for a long time.
Yeah, probably. What do you think about character creation screen possibly making your character left-handed? Asks Anikir.
Wow, that's actually not an option that I've seen like ever before in any game. That would actually be pretty neat. I would still be right-handed because that's what I am, but I think it would be neat to see left-handed characters running around.
Yeah, and maybe for left-handed characters, well, it might be nicer for them too.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, to be able to, especially if the characters are changing their stance and everything for it, just a completely mirrored stance.
Oh yeah, that'd be cool.
Yeah, it's something that has never been thought of, I think, in video games so far. Maybe with some exception with a role-playing game that have just one hero, you can only play that one. I think maybe in that case you may have a left-handed one. But in MMO, that could be cool.
Yeah.
To choose what hand.
Yeah, I like what Liam said. Some FPS games are having the left-handed option a lot more now, so possibly. But Theater, says they won't make them. There was some explanation, like programming problems. What if you can make your character no-handed? They just walk on their opos and fight with feet.
Yeah, I'd be curious to talk details with somebody that said it'd be a real challenge to do that, because in theory it's really just a visual thing, right? Like
possibly
quite literally mirror most of the actions, at least on the character. Maybe the armor itself would need to not be mirrored because, you know, there may be certain decorations on the right shoulder or left shoulder, so you just don't mirror the entire character.
Yeah,
your stances and a lot of that code could be copied and pasted, I would imagine. But again, I'm not a developer, so I'm really curious as to what the difficulty would be.
Maybe the animation. And because if you have the animation, a certain animation will go with an animation from an enemy. So if suddenly you're swinging your sword in a different side, then the enemy is not facing it. I don't know. Maybe it's something like that too. In any case, I think it might be something fun to have in addition. but it's not a very important feature. Maybe I say that because I'm not left-handed. Sorry.
On the other hand,
But-
I would like to see martial combat in bare knuckle. Oh. Lefties aren't real
Alright.
people anyways. They're just defective. Oh no.
Oh no! Oh
Hey,
no!
Wizzy. Don't feel bad. You're all good.
Bare
So-
hand combat is demanded in every game, and there's no game doing it for some reason.
Aw. I think especially like a monk type class should do well with like a barehanded combat. Chicken tastes good. Hi, Grumpy. Welcome in. That being said, I'm sure there's a lot of questions that we all have, but I wanted to make you guys aware of something. Now, we will be at a family function during this, so unfortunately we're going to be missing out. But this Sunday, the 13th, Steven will be doing an AMA on Reddit. Vertek, why don't you chat about that a little bit? Because you brought this attention to me. So.
Yeah, he's going to be doing an AMA on Reddit. I believe it's Eastern. It's 2 to 3, I believe it was. Yes, 2 to 3 p.m. Eastern. So 11 to 12 Pacific. Sadly, yeah, we'll be at a family function, so we get to miss something again. Yay! Like how we're missing all the testing this week because of moving.
Yeah.
Happy times. So we're relying on all of you to enjoy it to the fullest for us, and we will live vicariously through you by asking for all the details and your favorite parts. Please bring us your favorite parts. We'd love to hear about them.
Agreed.
But then there's the whole month of July, and you will already be in your home.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Our goal is to be fully set up, and I'm going to try to get way ahead at work and everything so that I can spend a lot more time just sitting on stream here. Oh.
This is going to be super cool.
Yeah, I'm excited. I low-key asked Toast, I was like, are we able to like maybe play and talk about, what we're seeing and experiencing? She's like, I kind of don't recommend it just in case you accidentally slip up and show something, but it's completely on you. I was like, yep, not gonna risk it. Nope, not worth risking. I'll just wait. It's only a couple more weeks.
No. Looks like there's some PvP action here between Reluctant and Wizzy.
I mean, we're practically in game already, Aside from that, we did have the announcement on the Deeds of the Dauntless, which will be available until, looking it up now currently, July 7th at 11 a.m. Pacific time. So if you enjoy any of these, make sure you get it by then. Otherwise, it will forever be gone. And we'll see what the next month's stuff is.
Getting the armor, and I'm getting the shield, and we'll see about the mount. Maybe. But that armor and shield is... I'm sorry, I have this dream of playing that tank mage. And that would fit perfectly for a tank mage. So
But you bite your thumb at him.
So
Yeah.
That's what you're going to play? You have already decided you will be a tank mage, Vertek?
I'm going to try all the tanks, but tank mage and tank bard are two of the ones that I'm looking forward to the most. I mean, obviously tank summoner would be interesting, but I think like the tank and the tank cleric, those are going to be like your standard typical tanky type classes. I'm not as amped to try those because I've already tried them in a different game. But I've never seen a tank mage. The closest I got to something like that would, I guess, be the engineer from Wildstar.
Yeah.
Because he was like the range tank and shot things and electrified enemies and things like that.
Sorry, I'm just
Yeah.
giggling at this insult. I bet it's not the right fist, you lefty troglodyte.
I hate that I found that funny.
Oh, you two are a hoot. Oh yeah, Wildstar, definitely. Oh, he's been
Bummer,
playing.
Wildstar is always going to come out.
Oh yeah.
But yeah, I just realized, big brain fart. I was speaking about the guild earlier, was whom I tested Elder Scrolls and Wildstar, but it was very tech. We were in the same guild
Yes.
at the time.
Yeah, for a minute. Yeah.
Just like brain.
I was like, oh, I met Elloa. She's really sweet. He's like, yeah, I know her from like blah, blah, blah. I'm like, you know everybody I'm meeting. Goodness.
But you will notice that the world is a small world, and and we started to know each other through Twitch, through YouTube, through the games, and it was 5 years ago we were all testing that one game. Now we're all in that one game.
Making the rounds.
Making the rounds.
That they say the video game development industry is a small world and everybody makes their way around and bumps back into everybody, but content creators and those that hop around from game to game, I mean, over time they meet each other time and again anyway as well.
Yeah. That's fair.
And it's a very nice aspect of it, I think.
Yeah.
It's nice to have that.
Agreed.
Elloa. I especially want your input, but definitely for text too. I want both of yours before I give mine. But going on to the dev discussion number 31, the environments. They ask, what are some of the elements that make for a more realistic or lifelike world when you play a game, from NPCs to environments and beyond? How much does realism matter to you in general?
For me, I don't need to have realism, like it need to be realistic, so I can be very immersed into a super cartoony game like Wildstar, for instance, or any other. What will add to the immersion, I think, for me at least, a super good ambient soundtrack that really set up the thing. And you have the birds and the insect, and I don't know, and you have some games that are really, really good and some games that are a little bit less good. I prefer the very good game, and the audio atmosphere things is very often neglected or not spoken about so much by players, because you don't really pay attention to it unless you remove the music from the game and you don't add your own. But try it, guys. Try to play the game. It's just the sound, or your favorite game, something like that. So that would be one aspect. I really like when there is NPCs, stories, discussion, or little scene, and you have the feeling that the world is alive without you. I like when you have little points to discover. Elder Scrolls is very good at doing that. When you're just stumbling around and you find something, it's just a fun little scene. It serves no purpose. It's not a quest. It's not an achievement. It's just something nice that you stumble upon while exploring. So yeah, I think those three aspects are really adding for me.
Yeah, I would have to agree that with me, a world doesn't have to be realistic necessarily, but it has to either be realistic or not. Like if they do some weird things in the middle, like some of the games from overseas, like some of the Asian games that look they take themselves very seriously with their graphics and very serious, almost lifelike characters and all that, but then they add goofy outfits and goofy hats, and like you're in a medieval world and suddenly you're driving around in a little clown car. That totally ruins it for me.
Oh yeah,
like,
me too.
You're either goofy, silly, and cartoony, or you're realistic. If you mix and mash them like that, it makes me twitch. It's that uncanny valley, only the opposite. You're not trying to be realistic and you're not trying to do this. You're trying to mix the best of both worlds, and to me, it just kills the whole thing.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm also in agreement. The audio adds a lot of impact, from the music to the audio effects to everything. If you don't notice the audio until certain points when you go, oh my gosh, what was that? What did I just hear? Am I hearing this right? And then suddenly you pay attention, and then suddenly the game just got that much better because you didn't realize that was happening. I couldn't tell you how many times that's happened in a few games where I'd be playing around and suddenly I'd feel so tense, like what is going on? And I realized that the music changed. I didn't notice it change, but the music changed, and the entire environment felt different. and I didn't realize it happening until the next time I went through and I paid closer attention.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't know that was. Okay.
Necronics?
Yeah, I had no clue.
Yeah, if I recall, it was like a little while back. There was a, hey, I can't get into my old account, so here's the new one.
I honestly, I haven't really, I didn't put those dots together, to be fair.
I think it was only mentioned like once or twice. I happened to remember it.
Yeah, I'm a little bit worse at remembering things like that. Oh, you could have very well told us, but that doesn't mean I remembered. I'm not trying to be rude by not remembering. It's just my brain doesn't always remember things very well.
I'm guilty of that too.
Yeah.
So I understand. It's not possible, especially when you're content creator. You see so many names, and people change name from one social media to the next, from one game to the next. You not only need to learn the name of everyone, but you need to learn their several names.
Yeah.
And it's just not working anymore.
It's for me like I have a lot of friends on Instagram that I meet in person, and for the longest time I keep calling them their Instagram name, and I've completely forgotten their real name, even though they've told me a couple of times, because I've just so used to interacting with them by one name. So for me, it's hard to do that swap over mentally. It just doesn't always click. I struggle for some of my friends, like actual names when we're in public, because I don't want to call them like by their online name. Like, you with the face and the thing that I know and I've known for a while. I'm not going to use your online name.
Well, that's all right. We were hanging out with you know this guy Elloa, Hammer. We were hanging out with him, and yeah, I've known him since before SOTOR came out and launched. Like that's when I bumped into him, is during the beta for SOTOR, and still to this day, like a couple weeks ago, hanging out with him, and he's like, "Hey, Vertec." He just calls me by the online moniker names, just because it's habit.
Yeah.
But it's also sometimes you really identify very much with your online name. It has been my case. So here you have the internet name. It's my real name. But I really I've been really attached to Elloa, and that name really represented myself, but a part of myself. Or it's difficult to explain, but like the Wendy aspect of me, that's the part I'm uncomfortable with, because she's doing a lot of mess in her life. And Elloa, she do things better, she's more successful. So I tend to really like that name a little bit better, because I like better the quality I'm associating with it.
Yeah.
And
she kind of reminds me. What's her name? Shalon from your book series.
Oh yeah.
That's what Elloa just reminded me of. Just as like how Wendy does things better. Like she just did that distinction. That was really cute. Sorry. Wheel of Time series?
No, it was it's from an author named Brandon Sanderson, and he finished up the Wheel of Time series for Robert Jordan.
Oh, okay. I keep getting those two confused. Sorry.
Yeah, he has a character in there where she has like a magic skill where she's a illusion magic, so she uses it to do this and that and the other, and she kind of developed into multiple personalities while acting like these other people, like changing her hair color and whatnot, and she sees herself as these different people, and whenever she gets into a certain situation, she literally just becomes that person, because it becomes easier to cope with that situation when she becomes that person instead of just being herself.
But that's absolutely, but we are going out of subject completely.
I'm sorry.
It's a mechanism. It's a psychological mechanism that we all use, or all have some sort of shattered personalities, not to the point where we are schizophrenic.
Oh no.
There's still many aspects, like you just described. This psychological theory.
Well, there was also just when you were saying that Wendy was more like felt like more like this. She was talking about like her original personality as being more confident or something, and it was cute. It was just like a little thing that just like clicked. It was just very similar. But I can move us into fan focus while we continue chatting. I wanted to show off this by let me grab. I love this person's comics. They're seeming to do like 2 a week. Zeshio. Here's one for the newest cosmetics right now about Mount shopping.
Yeah, it's so cool.
This I can work with.
This I can work with. Yeah, I'm very small. I'm 4'10". Very tiny person. But yeah, I really enjoy. If you guys want to go give him a love or a like or something, here's his thingies.
Some kind of voting ups.
Some sort of voting ups and a supporting. And then I have somebody kind of got bored waiting for the new cosmetic to come out, and so they made their own cosmetic with Steven's ducks.
And these are legendary.
I really love these. Here we go. Make them a little larger and share it over. There we go. It's very cute. I like it.
And hello, by the way, Lex.
Hello. Right, yes. Oh. Shush.
Yeah.
Sorry, my Google decided.
I love how on the one little cosmetic they actually like whited out the duck.
Yeah.
Like they've done on some of the other armors where they like gray out the actual like dwarf face.
Yeah.
The armor.
Yeah.
They're showing them off.
And that's what I grabbed for the fan focus this week.
I want the bow tie. The bow tie will be mine.
The bow tie. Oh no.
Cute.
Yeah.
Alrighty. Oh, it's all good, Lex. No worries. We got a little bit wrapped up in moving, and I forgot to ask ahead of time. I've been getting better though. I asked Elloa for it before stream so that we could start getting them before we stream, and that way we don't have to be like, hey, remember that one time when you were on our podcast like a year ago?
Plus it makes it nicer to introduce the actual live stream with their voices.
Oh yeah, it makes it a little bit more unique and special for them. I don't know, I like it.
It was very fun to do.
Yeah, Elloa gave us like 3 versions. It was super cute. We had 2 versions and one called Golden Feather ASMR LOL.
Yeah.
I like it.
Are we moving local or farther away? We're staying local. It's just a different area locally, like 10 minutes away. I'll go ahead and move us into the wrap-up phase. We can wrap up our little chats here. Elloa, for the most recent of everything, things, because I know that you were away for a while, like you said. Is there any one thing that's sticking out to you? Something that you are most excited for coming back into the Ashes news?
Yes, the note system, which is the first things that got me interested into the game, and now seeing it in practice happening, I think this is really the core aspect, the foundation of the game, in my opinion. Everything else is something you add to it, but this core foundation is like making everything else, every other system will turn around that. And so I'm very curious to see, and very excited to see how it will play out for real with everyone. It's super exciting. You have no idea, guys, how the other guys, the one that I'm not trying, How exciting it is to not only level your character, but you're leveling your nodes. Everything you're doing is participating in. You're like, yeah, guys, let's go, let's level. So we will have the merchant and we will have a mount, yeah, and things like that. And that aspect is really exciting because you will unlock new quests, you will unlock new content as you progress. As you progress your node, and you need to participate with other players. You cannot do it by yourself.
Lexa, give me your nodes.
Yeah, I think the node system is really what interests me the most in this game, because it's the core point and because it's the uniqueness. And while the freehold is exciting, or the combat system might be exciting too, that's more like details to me. What I want to see is to see this game that is metamorphosing all the time, where you access to the content because you have earned it, and to see the community striving around that. And I want to be part actively in building a positive community, because in this type of game you can have a toxic community building up. So it's very important to hold on and continue to encourage nice interaction and fair play, even when you're doing war and politics. Just a game, remember?
Yeah.
The players are all cool. Yay.
You can fight viciously and still, not be toxic and mean.
Right. Okay, so here's a question for you guys. Ledens is asking, what do you think how they will implement it with the recording of the histories of each server? Will it be like a blog or more like a timeline and keywords?
How do you think they will implement it with recording? Like as an Intrepid? How will Intrepid include the history of each server?
Like the scientific node, where you can record, I think, the history.
It's in the scientific node that you can do that?
I think so. Or the library. Like there's a library and you can go and record things that you've seen.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I think it's probably going to be more like entries, like what was found, dungeon, location, whatever, found by so and so by this date, etc. I think that's what it's going to end up being, just like timestamps and what exactly was found.
Yeah, like things in books or scrolls.
I think that will be mostly the work of the community to do so.
Yeah.
To do a chronology of your server, and I think in those type of games it's very exciting. If I had more time, I would want to do something like that.
Yeah.
When I played Terra Online, we did with my guild a journal, and so we're interviewing and reporting all the guild war there was between people and the politics that happened, and etc. It was really fun to do that, because even though we were not a very big or powerful guild, we were very well known just because we had the journal.
Yeah, exactly. I'm just really excited to see like the different node types, and seeing already with the alpha testing how one server is different than the other server and what levels, what nodes get leveled first. It's already exciting.
It's never the one I want. I want a wetland. I want to discover what there is in this dungeon with a giant tentacle. I want to understand why this giant stone, statue heads is thinking into the swamp.
Yeah.
There's so many mystery around that node. I find it so much more intriguing than the other one. Even though I really like the other one too. But that one's mysterious.
There's like the octopus one too there, I think. It's like somewhat octopus.
Yeah, the little octopus guy, like the statue just kind of half falling apart. Now, how cool would it be if the scientific nodes, when they recorded your discoveries, if they actually put blurbs, like decent blurbs of lore for what you found?
That'd be cool.
Like if you ended up stumbling across like a dungeon and it actually gave a description of, it was a dungeon around, or it used to be the lair of this and that and the other, and gave you a real peek into the lore of that location.
Yeah.
I think that'd be pretty neat.
I agree.
It'd take a lot of work by the dev team, but worthwhile.
I agree. Yeah, that sounds fun. I mean, there's already the one where like the node levels and then suddenly there's a dungeon. They're like, boom, dungeon. Like, what if the node levels and suddenly, like, boom, random lost home about a dungeon diary? You know, maybe that'd be a cool thing to have in the scientific node. Like, at one point we found this. It's like scribbled. Maybe you have to like find a way to make sense of the words, but that'd be a cool quest line, I think.
You, which node are you the most excited about? What type of node?
Either scientific.
It changes every time they did a new special.
Yeah, you know, I think we have to get through all of the node types officially before I settle on one. But so far, scientific has me excited.
I would have to agree on that one too. Yeah, I mean, the only thing about military that really gets me is I want to be a bounty hunter. I'm going to have a bounty hunter character, so I'm going to have a character in a military metropolis, or as high as it can possibly get.
I want a religious node. I want the stories. And I'm always, well, as I'm a quite spiritual person in real life, I always like religions and philosophies, and in game I find them interesting. Like in Dungeon and Dragon, it's so fun to be a priest in Dungeon and Dragon because you have so many deities you can choose, and they're all super different.
Yeah.
It's a bit like Elder Scrolls 2, and I'm very curious to see what they are coming, what they will come up with for the pantheon that we have of divinity, and how it will plays out, and what type of quest it will add, and it's exciting.
I'm pretty excited for that too.
Yeah.
Alrighty, shall we wrap this up and give last thoughts?
It might be about that time. I know it's getting late for Miss Elloa here.
Yes.
That's all right.
Super late.
Drift away.
And I actually, Verteg may be hanging out for a bit, editing podcast, but I have to go back to moving more stuff soon.
A lot of courage for you guys for moving. And may everything happen smooth and easy.
Thank
and
you.
Well,
you
thank you.
very nicely.
Appreciate that.
Well, thank you. Much
Also,
appreciated.
My wrap up is Grumpy Guy. I kind of agree with you, although I like these cosmetics more than last month's to me. I didn't really enjoy last month's very much.
I severely enjoy this month's stuff. At least two pieces. The armor and the shield. The mount, maybe. The other stuff is, I mean, it's whatever. Just not for me. But
No, for me, I'm not super fond. I find it beautiful, but I'm not interested. It's not something I would see my character playing with, especially now that I'm thinking going dwarf.
Yeah.
I still need to see the Vec too, because that was my first idea. The Vec that are praying the stars and making prophecies. I mean, come on. That's
Vec
really
race,
cool.
best race. Vec race, best race. Just saying. So, Miss Elloa, do you have anything else you would like to bring to the viewers' attention? Anything else you'd like to promote, push forward, inform them of?
Yes, take care of yourself, take care of your loved one. These are hard times for everyone. We have been through so many hard things, but we're all in this together. And I'm not speaking about the Ashes creation community, but humanity as a whole. And so I wish you all to stay courageous, keep connected to your heart, and take care of your loved one and yourself, of course.
Aww. And I want to remind you guys, feel free, if you haven't already, follow the lovely Miss Elloa Wendy. She does ASMR stuff and lots of positive vibe gaming and chill gaming. So you can also tip her for wise words of the day.
And definitely, if nothing else, follow her Twitter. She puts out some very lovely good mornings and good evenings. And,
I always love
happy
her
day thoughts and
Happy
screenshots.
Monday screenshots or Happy Tuesday. Like I love it. It's my favorite. So
Thank you. That's so nice. It's really because it's several years I've been doing that, and this year I didn't manage to keep up like I used to. And so it's nice that some people like it. So,
well,
we'll continue.
you were always so
Definitely a
sweet
highlight.
and shouting us out. I really want to make sure we get a chance to shout you out because you do some great work also. And you're a whole other time frame from us. You're probably our mornings when you go live, and we're probably late night for you, like now for you. So
Yeah, but it's always a pleasure, and thank you so very much to have invited me. It's lovely to speak with both of you, and
yes.
this is going to be nice. There's such nice people already in the Ashes of Operation community, and I'm glad that we're creating bonds between content creators. It's really, really nice. That's how we will make a beautiful, vibrant, dynamic, living, and kind community.
And yes,
Raven loves your accent.
says we need to have you on more. Your voice is like, oh my God, rules.
Thank you.
But yes, thank you so much for spending your time with us. Thank you
Yes.
for coming on our show. And everybody here watching the show, thank you for spending your time with us. You could have been doing anything. You could have been making the greatest banana split sundae or apple dumpling sundae known to man. And instead you hung out in this room.
Yeah. Or, maybe they're making it while they're hanging out with us. So I don't know.
I mean, that's true. That's true. Did you share? Did you bring enough to share?
Yeah, they will have to share now.
Well, I want to say thank you, Gal, so much for joining us. And we can't wait to have you back next week on Friday at 7 p.m., our usual time. And let's see, who do we have next week? We have the wonderful Elloa this week. And we will be having the Raekwon on next week. So come meet Raekwon with us. And we're excited to get one step closer to Alpha 1 being public. Yes.
Yay! Oh, this is going to be exciting.
Cannot wait.
So until then, everybody, have a lovely weekend. Please try to get some
Bye.
rest and rejuvenation. We'll see you then. Bye.
Take care.